Our cash game antes and blinds never change. The antes are $100, the blinds are $300 and $600. Sean Shiggy bought in for $100,000 and is down to $85,000. Now he folds. Los Angeles Laker owner Jerry Buss, an amateur player, started with $100,000, is now down to $50,000. Daniel Negreanu bought in for $1 million cash, and he's up about $50,000. He folds. Barry Greenstein was once down $125,000, but a good streak has him up now about $40,000.
Yeah, Barry has a pair of 10s here. He's raising at $2,500.
Todd Brunson folds. Jennifer Harmon bought in for $100,000, and she's up about $60,000 more. She folds.
Elliot Lesra's out. He'd rather stop and smell the roses. Sammy Farhar's trying to decide what to do with this huge hand, 6'9" offsuit.
I hate playing bad, Jerry. Sucks. You must be miserable all the time, man.
All right, baby. Me and you play alike.
Cocktails. He needs another shot, please. Just shut his ass up. Yeah, look, keep me quiet. You're right.
25 total, right?
Bad place camera. Do the shisha live show, okay?
Not surprisingly, Sammy Farhar likes his hand and calls for $2,500.
So it's Farhar and Greenstein to the flop.
Check in the dark. Let me see if you can. Brave enough to bet in the dark.
Flops a deuce, jack nine with two diamonds.
Sammy Farhar checked in the dark and he asked Barry to bet in the dark, but Barry waited for the flop. And Sammy has a piece of it.
They make me call fast weak bets. Oh, it's a weak bet. I call it. Strong bet, I'll lay it down.
Barry still has best hand here.
Turn cards a queen of diamonds.
Sammy checks. That might slow Barry down a little bit. It's an overcard and a third diamond. Gives Barry a straight draw. Sammy Farhar actually has a small flush draw.
Check, check to the river. An eight of diamonds. Farhar makes his flush.
And Barry's got the wrong tens. He's got two black tens. If he had the 10 of diamonds, he'd have a straight flush. He's made a straight, but Sammy Farhar's made a small flush, and he's going to win the hand, and his run continues.
Action to Sean Shiki with a jack nine suited. He calls.
Wonder what kind of interest rates Daniel charges.
Bus folds. And Daniel Negreanu, who has $1 million in front of him, raises to $3,200 with a pair of jacks.
Now, Todd Brunson is thinking about calling here. It looks like he is going to call with a queen 10 of clubs. I love the hand, but I don't really like it in this situation because two guys are in the pot already, and if a queen or a 10 comes, you really don't know what to do.
Jennifer Harmon folds, as does Lesra.
And of course, there's Sammy Farhar in there with his favorite hand, 6'9".
4 players.
So 4 players head to the flop. Flop comes 9, queen 6.
Everybody's got a pair now, except Sammy Farhar, who with the worst hand has flopped 2 pair.
Hang on, there's going to be a collision. We're at the Golden Nugget Resort in downtown Las Vegas playing high stakes poker. 4 players saw the flop. Todd Brunson paired his queen, but Sammy Farhar leads with 2 pair. Daniel Negreanu has pocket jacks, and Sean Shiki flop middle pair. Players check to Negreanu. He bets $9,000.
Daniel wants to see if his jacks are any good. And Todd Brunson is just going to call. He's got queens, but he doesn't like his 10 kicker.
I'm going to raise it. Going all in.
Oh, Sammy Farhar moves all in, raising it to $53,200. The pot is now over $85,000. Shiki and Negreanu quickly fold.
That was the right move. Sammy Farhar went all in. He's got bottom 2 pair.
Put the 9 in.
This is the time to get your chips in the pot.
How much is it? 30, 40, 1, 43, 44, 2.
Sammy Farhar has made it an extra $44,200 to call, and because it is Sammy Farhar, Todd's got a big decision. Sammy could have anything here. Could have 2 diamonds, could have a 7-8, could have a 10 jack. And the only thing worse than getting bluffed is getting bluffed on national television.
I'm happy with it.
You're happy if I call, or you're happy if you win now?
I'm happy either one. I just hope I have the best hand either way. If you fold, I'm sure I have the best hand. If you call, I hope I have
You
the
gotta
best
draw
hand. No, I didn't say I'm gonna do out. I hope I have the best hand either way.
I think Sammy realizes at this point that his 2-pair is the best hand. He wants Todd to call. If this were any other player but Sammy, it might be an easier decision for Todd. He would probably throw his hand away.
Leave it there. You sure? It's not there. It's not behind the line. You can take it back. That's all right. Take it back. Take it back. Think about it. Let me get you a drink. It's on me. Get him a drink,
I
please.
think he pulled his fingernail, you see?
I hope he didn't grab
Oh, I want like
5,000
this.
from the pot. Wait, it's not a call yet. Wait, hold it.
It is now.
Think about
You
it.
can take it back still.
Take
No,
60
it's
seconds.
Call. I want to see this hand.
What is that? I ain't showing you my hand.
Okay, whatever. Let's see. The
I'll show you my hand. And hold it, hold it. We can show
No,
it.
no, they said we don't have to show.
You don't have to.
I don't care. I'll
you
show
wanna
it.
do it then?
What is it? 30, 40, 44, 2. Push it in, please. I get unlucky when you leave the money like this. You got a pair? I got 2 pair. You got a queen.
Your queen's up?
No, if I had queens up, I wouldn't ask you what
Nines
you
and
have.
sixes?
9s and 6s.
We got king, queen.
King,
Wanna-
queen?
Something like that. You want to do it twice?
Yeah, why not? You're my friend.
Yeah.
Did it twice.
This is interesting, AJ. What they've agreed to do is deal the turn in the river twice, and they're going to act as 2 separate hands.
Don't put a diamond. That's you, huh? That's
Well,
good.
Todd has drawn out in the first hand.
Unless you have a diamond. it's good.
Now, if Todd wins the second hand, he'll take the whole pot. If Sammy wins the second hand, they'll split the pot. Here's the second hand. So far, Sammy's all right. And he wins, so they're going to split the pot. Todd won the first, Sammy won the second.
So Sammy Farha raises the $3,000 with a king-queen offsuit. Jerry Buss calls with a pair of 4s. Negrano stays in with pocket 3s, and Barry Greenstein now calls from the big blind with a queen-10 suited. So we'll have 4 plays in the hand as we head to the flop.
Just want to get Todd out.
I don't know if they try to trap you, try to trap them.
I'm trying to trap them. I got a monster.
Flop comes 3, ace 6, all diamonds.
Daniel Negrano has flopped a set of 3s here. Sammy Farhar has a queen-high flush draw.
14,000 each.
And he's not going to let any grass grow under his feet. He's going to bet this hand.
Farha fires $17,000 into the pot, quickly chasing Jerry Buss out of the hand.
Make it 50.
And just
Raise
as
to
quickly,
50,000.
Daniel Negrano raises to 50,000 with his set of 3s.
He's out over there?
He folded.
Okay. All right, boss.
And Sammy Farhar is going all in for 58,000 with the queen-high flush draw, a very ambitious call.
No. What are we going to do? Twice?
Let's just play it once.
Once. I like this style.
Now, Sammy wanted to do it twice again. Daniel say, let's do it once, and Sammy said, sure, I like your style.
Here, I'll tell you. Hang on.
No, I don't have the aces. I'm lying.
I got trips.
I got a flush draw.
So here we go to the turn card, a deuce of spades. Farha can only win now with a diamond on the river. And it is a 4 of diamonds, and Sammy Farha makes his flush and wins the hand, taking down nearly $129,000 in
I
cash.
got there. This is the only way I lose spots.
He said
Everybody else is quite amused by this, but I don't think Daniel thinks it's too funny.
Sean Shiki calls with a 10-9 suited.
You're steaming. Steaming? You are steaming.
Table falls over to Todd Brunson with a Jack-10 offsuit.
Todd, you look tired, buddy. Why don't you go to bed? Get you some rest. We'll be here tomorrow.
Raise.
Sammy very concerned about
Ever?
Todd Brunson's
Just
sleeping
limp?
habit, but Todd's not sleeping here. He raised to 1,800.
No, I want to play.
That was me, what? I just raised a little bit.
Well, I don't even have a little bit right.
All right.
Kind of
So
here.
Lesra calls with an ace-jack offsuit, as does Farha with a 9-3 suited. And Shiki calls, so 4 players head to the flop.
Give you the profit.
Sean brought me too, by the way.
we all knew Sean is playing this afternoon.
I called because Sean was going to call. I knew it.
Everybody wants to play with Sean. He's
See
loved
that?
by everyone.
Flop comes 7, King 8.
Check, check, check. Brunson has a custom-made check for Sean Shiki.
Turn cards are 5 of hearts, and Lesra's pair still leads. He bets $2,500.
Now, Sammy Farhar has made a flush draw and an inside straight draw, and Ellie has bet the $2,500. And nobody bet on the flop.
And Sammy raises to $15,000.
A very healthy raise. Now, this is what you call a semi-bluff, because Sammy does have a straight and a flush draw. He would be happy to win the pot right here, but if Ellie calls and Sammy would hit a 6 or a heart, he could win a big hand. With Ellie taking this much time, Sammy's starting to realize that Ellie doesn't have much of a hand. So I think he's hoping that he goes out right now.
The raise was 15,000.
Put the 25 in.
He just wanted to know what the raise was.
I think they built the Suez Canal in less time than it's taken Ellie to decide what to do here.
What would you do with ace-6 a heart in this position?
That's what I did.
Huh?
That's what I did. I'll show you what I did.
Sure.
Cheers to that.
I'll let you bluff me against Sam.
You have an ace. Probably ace-8.
And Sammy Farha is going to take down another good pot. Alezra calls with an 8-6 suited. Action's down to Farha. Farha bumps up to $2,600 with a king-jack offsuit.
Oh yeah, this is a major hand for Sammy, king-jack offsuit.
No, man.
Cheeky and bust fold. Negrano has ace-10 offsuit. He calls.
Oh, that's his change?
26?
And Alezra throws in his
I'll
call.
put 600 in.
I'll tell you what I do to both
No, you
of
put
you.
a
I'll
5
give you
in,
$1,000
and I
back.
gave you the 2 back.
What does that mean, no?
I would say that's a no.
There's only 7 this time, and that's your 3.
Let's go, man. Don't listen to this guy. Just ignore him like he's not
Are
there.
you playing tomorrow, Sean?
I don't know. Is this yours?
And what time?
Is this yours?
No, that's yours. Pair that board.
3 plays are in. The flop comes 6-10-8 with 2 spades. Negrano flops top pair, but Alezra has 2 pair.
I don't see anything.
Congratulations, you're on for double. I'm gonna try a little bet, see where I'm at. This is just one of those feeler bets you throw
You
out,
don't have 3
figure it
7
out,
spade.
and then you just fire out something like, well, let me see. I have to fire, I think $5,000 is the correct amount. That's correct.
That's 5,000.
Yes,
Daniel bets
5,000.
5,000 with top pair, top kicker.
That's the right number. I did all the what do you call them? Computations in my head. Figured it out.
Computation?
Something like that. Is that a word? That's not a word, computation.
I was gonna say
Calculation.
I raise.
That's the word. Hey, Ray, look at
Alezra raises to
how much more you
15,000.
got? No.
Action's down to
Raise
Farha.
Sammy out.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, now I think that Daniel's got to pay attention to this, because it's Ellie Alezra who's raising here,
My pocket?
and Sammy Farhar is playing games.
And Sammy
How
folds.
much more do you have, sir?
Does it matter?
No, yeah, it does. Absolutely.
30, 40,
77.
50, 70,
I may consider just putting it all in
78.
if I feel as though this hand has got a
88
chance.
total with this.
So it's 88,000
Well, it looks like Daniel doesn't see any difference between Ellie and Sammy.
plus the 10 you bet. Plus the 10 you bet. Okay, you've got that. Pretty sure.
What the heck?
Well, I'm not going to tell you. I want to see if it's better for me to put it all in now or wait and then put it in next card.
Put it all in now. I don't think I can call.
Yes, you will. You're 100% calling. Don't lie to me. No matter what, you're putting the money in. That's for sure. You didn't put 15,000 out there, and you're not going to protect it. That I know.
My children.
Yeah.
Look, if
yeah.
Daniel's
What do you
going to
have,
do the
though? You have-
analysis here, AJ, I'm going to go down there and get in the game.
I'll show it to the audience. Jennifer going under
Shoes
it.
down.
Look at Jennifer. She's
Yeah.
going.
You gotta quit going under the table, John.
I can tell you for sure that Daniel's
Sorry,
not
Marco,
doing this
but-
as an exercise.
She just let out of line.
He's probably going to raise here.
Eli. What can I do with you here? Call, bluff. Nah.
Usually,
I'm just-
when you think so long, you put it all in.
You're right. You're
That's what
right.
you did so far.
You're right, you're right.
Every time you throw those two big bundles.
The big bundles.
He hits cash, that's why.
Stick
I
them in.
call.
Ah,
So
you go
Daniel
straight.
bets 100 grand, which more than covers Ellie, and Ellie quickly calls.
You got 2 pair?
Yes,
Okay, I need help
Raise
then.
and a call.
You want to do once or twice?
twice is good.
Twice, okay. I got ace 10. Yes, he's got the right 2 pair. I was hoping he didn't have
You know
10.
twice mean?
Now, Daniel was afraid that Ellie had a straight at first. When Ellie said he had 2 pair,
Ace 10 or
Daniel was afraid that he might have had 10s up, but he had the right 2 pair, the bottom 2 pair, so Daniel could draw out easily. Now, they've decided to run it twice again. Let's see what happens on the first hand.
Okay, that's it.
Take
In the
those two
first hand,
out.
Ellie
Take
won.
them out.
Daniel didn't improve his hand. Now they're going to run it again.
Oh, I hope I was right in running it twice this time.
Free
Yeah.
roll.
So far you're free rolling.
There he is. Daniel is drawn out.
No 8,
Daniel
no
has
6.
made aces and 10s.
Oh, yeah, 8 or 6.
No 8, no 6.
Take your 50,000 back.
Yes!
That's brutal.
I said it's not.
Wow, Daniel's bad luck continues.
It's 50.
So Ellie Alesra wins
60,
both
70,
times and
80.
takes down the pot
Yeah.
worth over $200,000.
Look at it. 8,800, 88,000, $30.
Sammy Farr's first act. He'll peek down at pocket aces.
He raises 2,500. Aces can be dangerous in the hands of a loose player like Sammy.
Shaky calls.
Oh, come on.
And Negrano raises the $7,500 into the jaws of death.
Daniel's got a pair of 10s. The players go out. You've heard of the group Guns N' Roses. This is Roses and Carrots at this table as Sammy gets prepared to move in for the kill here.
Cheap, cheap, cheap.
It is cheap. I'm gonna raise it.
Okay, do what you gotta do.
Raise. You wouldn't call, would you?
22-1.
22?
Get Sean out.
Farah goes over the top, raising $22,000 more.
You re-raised.
Yeah, I understand.
22,000.
22, right?
Good call, whatever you do.
And Daniel's going to call it.
Flop is 3 babies with 2 clubs.
I don't have that, do I?
This is a perfect flop for Sammy. He puts Daniel on an overpair. He knows Daniel doesn't have kings. He's hoping Daniel has jacks or queens. He wants to make a bet that Daniel can call.
Well, he bets $40,000 and brings the pot up to $103,000.
Perfect bet. But Daniel is very aware that his 10s might not be good. Big dilemma for Daniel here is he cannot just call Sammy. He's making a decision whether or not to put Sammy all in. Be about another $100,000. Because if he's going to go for the 40, he has to trust his read that Sammy does not have the overpair.
And Negrano lays down the hand.
Great decision. Great play. Just shows you the class of player that Daniel Negrano is.
6, I will play.
Jerry Buss called with pocket 7s.
I watch a lot of TV.
Negrano's raised with a king jack offsuit to $2,600.
That's embarrassing.
What is?
I wish I didn't show him the camera in my hand. You brought me in.
Alesra's in with deuces. Farah with 8-5 suited calls. Shaky fold from the big blind. And Buss calls the raise. So it's 4-way
Wait a
action.
minute, I think. Is that right?
You got it right.
Where's the button though?
See live
Okay,
button.
okay. Because I put 26 total. Ah, I see. That's what it is.
Flop comes deuce, 6, 7, 2
I think
spades.
that's me.
Wow.
I think that's
Jerry's
me,
flopped
Jerry.
a set of 7s. Ellie a set of
what? I'll
deuces,
check
and
any.
Sammy an open-end straight.
Even though it's me.
Sammy and Jerry both casually check, and Daniel Negrano, who's got king high, is going to take a stab at the pot. Bet 7,500.
How much?
Well, the bases are loaded for the lone amateur Jerry Buss. Can he triple up?
Ellie's just going to call here. He wants to see what comes on 4th Street. He's a little afraid of those spades, but he's sure right now that he has the best hand.
All right.
And Sammy's just going to call with the open-end straight.
Oh,
And Jerry Buss moves all in with top set. He's not going to slow play this hand.
Put the 75.
Put
please.
75 in. No, don't count it up. Just take 7. Just put
75.
75 in.
Now Daniel is out. It's going to
Jerry, you're
cost
all in?
Pretty
Ellie
close.
$56,000 to call. Now, we know he's going to call for sure. What he's deciding right now is, does he want to shut Sammy Farhar out? He's probably putting Sammy Farhar on a draw. And does he want to gamble and let Sammy Farhar draw?
We have to quit in 12 minutes. I have to try to get even. Right?
12 minutes?
12 minutes.
Still have an hour, over an hour.
I think Jerry will leave in 12 minutes if he wins this hand. If he winds up losing it, he might stay a little longer.
50, 52, about 55, something like that.
I call.
Ellie decides to gamble.
56?
He just calls, and he's hoping Sammy Farhar would call.
Is it 56
Now the pot is huge.
Now I suck you in, huh?
How much is it total?
Now we have one of those situations where Sammy Farhar probably knows that he can't just call. That he's either got to go all in and hope to make it straight, or throw his hand away. And that's his decision.
I wish there was no camera. I'm embarrassed to show my hand.
Once or twice, Jerry?
Ellie, you can run it 20 times. You're dead to a deuce.
Oh my God, I was really.
Farhar does fold, and with a pot this big, over $153,000, that's an incredible amount on just one hand.
And Jerry Buss would actually be winner for the game. He's in $150,000. He'd be $3,800 winner if the case deuce doesn't come out.
Let's see it.
Now the turn. Oh!
A
5-8,
9.
That's me. I swear to God. 5-8.
Sammy Farhar would have made his straight.
The river, another 6.
Both players make full houses. Jerry, of course, wins with 7s full, and Sammy Farhar is relieved.
You finally had one.
So is Jerry.
And Barry catches the dream hand right before bedtime. Raises to $2,500.
And oh my goodness, Sammy Farhar has picked up a pair of kings.
Wow.
Kings against aces, the last hand of the night, and the 2 right guys to have them.
10 more.
And Farhar re-raises to $12,500.
All of Sammy's hard work for this entire night is in jeopardy here.
How could I be kidding when you got beat?
There is 50.
Barry raises $50,000, and he's got Sammy covered. He's got more chips than
This is the
Sammy.
last hand? Are you serious?
Look at it, last hand.
Last hand? Wow. How much more Barry you have? I can't see your chips. About 200?
I had 190 when the hand started.
190 when the hand started.
Yeah.
Wow. It's amazing. Who shuffled? You did or the dealer?
Everybody else is out.
Wow.
The other players have no idea what's brewing here.
Hold all tickets. Hold all tickets.
I'm the only gambler on this table, I guess.
Hold it.
190 total.
Great Hold'em players can count on the fingers of one hand the times they've been able to get away from kings against aces. To complicate this, Sammy has $180,000 at risk. He's only got $12,500 in the pot. He can walk away here a big winner by making the greatest laydown in No Limit Hold'em. If I had to guess, I would say it's 50-50. He knows that Barry's either got aces, maybe the other 2 kings, and maybe a pair of queens. But it really looks like Barry's got the aces.
Gonna be sick to my stomach. $50 more, right?
With this hand, Sammy's entitled to take as much time as he wants.
But he's taking a different sort of time than he did earlier today.
Yeah, he's really thinking about this. This is the biggest decision a no-limit Hold'em player can make.
Barry?
It's almost a $400,000 decision.
Yeah.
Sammy tries to sneak a glance at Barry, who's not showing anything.
Go home. It's over. Go home. Let me think.
The other players are like fans that got up and almost left the stadium and now are coming back to their seats.
So you didn't miss anything.
I'm all in.
I call.
Call.
Let's see it. Deal. You got aces, right? I know.
You got
Deal.
queens?
Kings.
Kings?
Deal.
I gotta get away from
Aces
kings.
against kings.
Want two flops? 5 and 5?
No.
Let's go.
Sam hasn't turned his
The
up.
pot is a mind-blowing $361,800 in cold hard cash.
Sammy asked Barry if he wanted to put out 5 cards twice, 2 complete hands, and Barry very politely declined.
It's amazing. It's like a cold deck. What do you want to do?
It's not over.
I bet you
might-
the flop ace
you-
king's gonna come.
You might win.
Yeah, I'm favored to win as usual.
It's aces against kings as we head to the flop.
Oh,
Six,
he got a
king,
king.
eight. Oh,
He got
my
a
God.
king. Unbelievable. He got a king.
What are we gonna do now? Want to deal twice?
Barry's going to
No?
need an ace or
Let's
2
do it.
hearts.
Let's go.
Terrible break
What's
for
the
Barry
difference?
Greenstein.
How do they do it?
7 of spades on the turn. Barry's down to the last card. He needs one of the 2 remaining
Hold it.
aces.
Gotta take a deep breath. Hold it.
Sammy's whole attitude has changed a little bit here.
Yeah.
3 of diamonds on the river. Sammy Farhar wins
You gotta gamble to win,
$361,800.
Action falls to Alezra with an ace-9 offsuit. He's going to call. And Farhar with pocket 9s. Raises $4,600. Action to Fred Shamanara
He looks like Mo Green from The Godfather.
without the bull and the eyeglasses. Freddie Deeb's got pocket 10s.
He just calls. That kind of surprised me. I would expect Freddie Deeb to put in a little raise here, but that's why Freddie Deeb is a very unpredictable player. You never know what he's going to do.
Steam raise. Freddy smell it.
Freddie didn't smell anything. Freddie has a hand, pair of 10s, Ellie. And Sammy usually does not steam. He steals, does not steam usually. Now, we were talking about Ellie taking chances. Let's see if he takes a chance with an ace-9 here.
I'll let you Lebanese fight this one.
No, we need you here.
No chance there for the Israeli. He's going to let the Lebanese guys fight it out.
Flop comes 3 ace-5 with 2 clubs.
Freddie Deeb is still in the lead here.
And Alezra would have flopped a pair of aces if he'd stayed in the hand.
Stayed in the hand. That's the key statement there. If he took a chance and stayed in the hand.
And Farhar's pushed $15,000 more into the pot.
How much more you got, Sam?
Now, Freddie Deeb,
Not exactly
because he
what I
didn't
mean.
raise with his 10s,
65.
let Sammy Farhar take control of this hand. Look at this. He throws his hand away.
Wow.
Uncharacteristic for Freddie Deeb. Freddie, let me introduce you to Sammy Farhar and show you his resume.
What is it, 600?
Freddie Deeb picks up a huge hand, ace-king offsuit,
Oh, man, I can't.
and only calls with it.
Is that Freddie Deeb or Jerry Buss?
I believe I missed the triple there, Daniel.
Raise it.
You still have a triple?
Make it 6,600.
No, I won one, but
Oh, he folded already. I'm sorry. It'll be 6,600 to you. No?
No, it could be 6, and then I can just give it to you.
Right.
Johnny Chan started that by folding out a turn, and then Daniel raised out a turn. But it's all centered around trying to get the doctor to play faster. Doctor's slowing up the game, and the pros don't like it.
And Alezra catches an ace-king as well.
You got the looks.
He's thinking of raising. The only one I believe he's afraid of in this hand is Freddie Deeb.
I raised at 42.
100?
And Elliot Lesher goes over the top, re-raising to $48,600.
Raise 42,000.
And he still hasn't looked at Freddie Deeb.
You playing behind Eli?
That's all what I got, my friend. That's all I can win.
Now the moment of truth.
I mean, Chow keeps staring.
How much is it to me?
Another 48 grand for Deeb to call with the same hand.
50,000?
48.6.
Now this shows you the difference between a cash game and a tournament. If these same two players are playing in a tournament,
Who's this?
I don't think there's any doubt that Freddie Deeb would call here.
That's what you got there.
But if he calls this 48-6, again, that's $48,600 of his own money, and he's not going to do it.
No, look at my friend over there.
Freddie Deeb lays down the same hand.
And it looks like it stimulated Dr. Amir Nasiri here. He's got 7-5 offsuit,
36.
and in a relatively early position here. He said he's going to make it 3,600. He's trying to steal the blinds and antes. Also, he's been sitting for a while, and he wants to play. So he puts in a $3,600 bet with his 7-5. Now, Elliot Lesher has ace-jack. He's at least going to call, and he does. And Doyle has king-queen. He's going to call. So you got three players seeing the flop, and Dr. Amir Nasiri is hoping to get real lucky.
The pot is now over $11,000. We'll go to the flop. King, Jack, Ace with two clubs. So Lesher flops two pair, and Brunson a king along with a straight draw.
And a backdoor flush draw.
Check.
Check it.
Dr. Nasiri bet 7,000. I can't blame him for doing that. He's going to get a quick call from Ellie, and Doyle's probably also going to call. His mistake was not that $7,000 bet on the flop. He doesn't know what these players have. His mistake is getting involved in this hand in the first place with 7-5 offsuit, and he's run into a couple of barracudas with hands.
Turn cards is 7, giving Nasiri a pair.
Check.
I noticed. You won't get it till the end.
Well, actually, the only way that Dr. Nasiri could have won this hand is by catching a 7-7 on the turn and river, or 5-5 on the turn and river. He's got his first 7.
Well, the river calls another jack, giving Lesher a full house. Jack's full of aces. Lesher bets $25,000.
Doyle throws his hand away. None of his potential came in. Wound up with a pair of kings. Didn't think it was good, and he was right. And I hope Dr. Nasiri isn't trying to figure out some scenario where he's going to call Ellie here, maybe figuring Ellie has a busted flush draw. And thankfully for his wife, his family, and for the women who are going to come into his office tomorrow, everybody's going to have an easier time because he threw that hand away.
Raise.
Shamanar raises to 2,500 with an ace-queen of diamonds.
Shamanama, shamanama.
Showing your age, Gabe. Nasiri calls a 9-6 of hearts.
Hey, I was 30 when that song was recorded.
Johnny Chan's in with a pair of 7s. Negrano calls with 2 5s. So it's 4 players to the flop. Comes 10-3-6. Johnny Chan's got the best hand. And no help to our original raiser, Fred Shamanara.
He checks, and now it's up to Dr. Amir Nasiri, who has a pair of 6s and who has been itching to play. He also seems to want to be in hands with Fred Chamanara. I don't know, maybe he thinks he can outplay Fred. But it looks like he's going to bet here and hope his 6s are the best hand. They're the second best hand.
Well, he bet $6,500. The Chan folds, Negrano folds. Action's back to Fred Chamanara.
Now, he might be picking up on this, that the doctor's trying to push him around. He raised before the flop. He checked, which could be to disguise a big hand, and the doctor came out and he bet. Now, Freddie C here is trying to figure this out. He bet before the flop. Then he checked on the flop, which could be to disguise a big hand. And Dr. Nasiri doesn't seem to have any fear. He comes out and bets.
You know, squeeze the lemon in it.
You don't come to Vegas and treat a man like Mo Green like that, Gabe.
And there isn't a statue. And there isn't a signpost.
I'll raise.
All right, Mo Green's going to raise. Showing some good instincts here. He is sizing this hand up very well.
Right away.
How much is that? 65. 2,500 more. You want it?
Excellent play.
He's got an ace-10 offsuit. And he's going to call here.
I raise it. 3,200.
Somebody wake him up?
I like the number 32.
Nasiri's not backing down. He raises to $3,200 with an ace-4 suited.
Continues to try and pick on Fred Chaminara, who incidentally is his countryman. This could start a civil war.
Another one, huh? Flop comes 7-3-10. Chaminara flops top pair.
He lies again. He's not stuck 20. I guarantee he's not stuck
Johnny
20.
knows where the whole
Johnny knows everything what's happening. How much I'm up, John?
Now this time, Fred Chaminara really has a hand.
He's good.
He's flopped top pair, top kicker.
Say at least. 60.
He checks to Nasiri.
Something. I just lost 10 for Doyle.
I bet.
11.
Here he goes again. Nasiri takes another shot at the pot and bets $11,000 cash on just ace high.
Call.
He just calls.
So you remember, though?
I think he's aware of what Dr. Nasiri is trying to do, and he's trying to get as much money out of this hand as he can. If an ace would come up, it'd be terrible for Nasiri.
Got a queen of diamonds on the turn, giving Nasiri a nut flush draw.
Let's see if Fred Chaminara checks again. He does. Now, Amir Nasiri has a legitimate draw. He's got the nut flush draw. This could get him into some trouble here. Or maybe could win him a lot of money if he gets lucky.
And Nasiri tosses $20,000 cash into the pot, which is now over 50 grand. He's exactly a 4-to-1 underdog here in this hand.
I have no idea what's going through Fred Chaminara's mind right now. He didn't like the queen. I think he's probably going to call.
Chaminara calls, so they'll head to the river. It's a 4 of spades. Nasiri misses on his flush draw, but he's paired his 4.
Well, Fred Chaminara still does not like that queen.
Well, Chaminara checks.
And now Amir Nasiri's made a pair, and he checks.
Showtime.
Hoping a pair of 4s will be good.
Ace 10.
Of course they're not.
Good.
And Dr. Amir Nasiri loses another big hand to Fred Chaminara.
So Freddie Deeb's got a 5-3 of clubs, raises to $1,200. Amir Nasiri calls with a king-10 offsuit.
20,000.
The grounder wants to play his 4-3 offsuit. And Alesra calls with his jack-9 offsuit.
Look what the Stardo did.
That'll makes it a game.
And Brunson checks from the big blind with a queen-7 offsuit. So 5 players stay in the hand. We head to the flop. 3 deuce 5 with 2 diamonds.
Now, when you have 5 people limping in, flops like this are not innocent.
I think he checked.
Somebody could have a big hand here. And as we see, Daniel has a pair and an open-end straight, and Freddie Deeb has flopped 2 pair.
I'm gonna bet 3,200.
Bet 3,200.
You know when I like it? When Daniel was leading in this Bellagio tournament, and he said, I bet $4,355,000.
You're not gonna call, are you? You just want
Ellie's trying to get some TV time here, and Doyle doesn't want any part of
I
it.
learned from Phil. I learned from Phil.
I go.
So Deeb's just going to call with his top 2 pair.
He's going to let a card come off here. Doesn't want to see an ace, doesn't want to see a 6, and doesn't want to see a diamond.
But he'll take this 3, giving Deeb a full house. 3s full of 5s, and Negrano trips 3s. And he checks now.
Wow, I forgot about it completely. Thank you. I saw it. I'm glad the flop is still there.
So what?
It's just 3-5. It's me.
Freddie Deeb does not know how strong Daniel Negrano is here.
It just fired 8 grand to the pot.
Oh, it's like this one. Said that's David Bennett. That's why you throw me off.
Daniel's debating whether or not to raise.
But he just calls.
Yeah, Daniel knows he could be beat.
River card's another deuce.
That's a terrible card for Daniel. Daniel has made a full house, and he's got to feel the best that Freddie could have is the same full house. Now, if Freddie had flopped a straight, Daniel now has the best hand.
And Daniel leads out with $25,000.
25.
5,000.
What do you do here if you're Freddie, Gabe?
Well, he's going to raise.
Raise.
Deeb raises to 75 grand. That's 50 more for Negrano to call.
50 more.
Raise 50,000.
Oh man, this is a cooler. You got 5s full. Or quads. Or 3-5. I can't fold.
You gave him all the good hands.
Those are the ones that beat me.
Yeah, but there is one hand that's a tie. Daniel named the 3 hands that would beat him.
More?
Freddie could have ace-3, and Daniel does not want to throw a full house away. He knows the best he could hope for is a split pot. It's a very bad position to be in.
I feel like he might have flopped 3 5s or something.
Five, 3. That's the only hand you didn't call.
He called it.
Oh, he didn't.
He's got.
No, I got 3s.
Negrano calls, and fast Freddie Deeb cashes in on his full boat, taking down a whopping $179,200.